Hello everybody. So today's topic is advanced reasoning 1. In advanced reasoning 1, we're going to study two types of things or two concepts rather. The first concept is conclusions, the other concept is assumptions. So when we start with conclusions, we know we've learned that conclusions are true from the reader's or the listener's point of view, and it always follows the main statement, which means you conclude only after you have read the main statement. You will mark your answer as 1 if you think only the first conclusion follows. You will mark the answer as 2 if you think only the second conclusion follows. You'll mark it as 3 if you think both 1 and 2 conclusions follow. And you'll mark it as 4 if you think neither 1 nor 2 conclusions follow. So the first question says, farmers in the north have observed the full moon prior to the occurrence of heavy frost, and they believe that the full moon causes the frost. Now, two conclusions are given. The first one says the farmers are superstitious. Second says there is no relation between the full moon and the frost. Now, if I look at the statement, it talks about farmers in the north. And my first conclusion is only about the farmers. It doesn't specifically state farmers in the north. Thus, we treat the first one as a generalization and not a conclusion. We're generalizing based that if farmers in the north have observed, then all farmers are superstitious. But it does not make sense. Hence, the first one is eliminated. There is no relation between the full moon and the frost is the second conclusion. But here in my question, it says that they have observed full moon prior to the occurrence of frost. So we can't really say that there is no relation. There may exist some relation. Hence, my answer to the first one becomes option number 4, neither 1 nor 2. Second says, an economist said that the cost of living index will go up next week because of a recent increase in the price of fruit and vegetables. The cost of living index is the total sum of food, clothing, and shelter that you require for your survival. It is going to go up because of a recent increase in one factor of it, which is fruit and vegetables. So the first conclusion says other items that make up the cost of living index have not significantly decreased in price. This is correct. Because if it is going up because of one factor of fruit and vegetable, we can safely conclude that other items, which is shelter and clothing, have not gone down significantly, which means majorly in price. And since it is going to go up next week because of a recent increase, we can safely conclude the second one also, that food cost changes is reflected quickly in the cost of living index, as fruit and vegetables are nothing but food. So my answer for the second one becomes 3, both 1 and 2. Third one says advertising people who ignore research are as dangerous as generals who ignore the codes of enemy signals. Now the first thing that we need to understand is that here we are not talking about or not comparing advertising people with generals. Rather, we are comparing if you ignore research and do advertising, then the consequences of that ignorance will be as dangerous as ignorance of generals who use enemy signals or who ignore enemy signals with decodes. So this is what we are comparing. We are comparing the ignorance and we are comparing the consequences of the ignorance. The first conclusion says advertising can be compared aptly to war. Aptly means perfectly. But again, it does not follow because, as I said, we are not comparing advertising to war perfectly or appropriately. Second says research related advertising and decodes of enemy signals have similarities. Now, research related advertising and decodes of enemy signals do not have similarities. If you ignore research and do advertising, and if you ignore decodes of enemy signals, then that is going to have similarities. So, again, the consequences of ignorance will have similarities. So, my answer for the third one becomes option number 4, neither 1 nor 2. Fourth says it is not bigotry to be certain we are right, but it is bigotry to be unable to imagine how we may have possibly gone wrong. Now, bigotry is basically bigots are people who think that they are always right. So, bigots do not make errors. This conclusion does not follow because bigots may make errors. But the second conclusion definitely follows that bigots believe that they cannot make errors because bigots are people who think that they can never go wrong. So, they believe that they cannot make errors. Hence, my answer for fourth is option number 2. Only 2 follows. Fifth says, if there were in the world today any large number of people who desire their own happiness more than they desire the unhappiness of others, we could have a paradise in few years. We're talking about people desiring their own happiness vis-a-vis desiring the happiness of others. So if they would desire their own happiness, then we could have a paradise, is what they say. First, people do not desire their own happiness. Second, paradise would result if people desire their own happiness. Now, the first one is not clearly given. It is said more than the unhappiness of the others. So you can't say that people do not desire their own happiness. But yes, you can very well conclude the second one, that paradise would result if people desire their own happiness. So hence answer becomes 2 only. In the opening decade of 21st century, we are still wedded to the notion that top-down command and control is the most effective way to run big companies and get complex things done. This is a deeply held belief based on the time-honored notion that traditional pyramid-shaped hierarchy is most logical and efficient way to structure an organization and manage work. Workers report to managers, managers report to directors, directors report to VPs, and VPs report to the person known as the big Gs. Now, in this entire paragraph, we're talking about how top-down command and control is most effective and how there is a hierarchical structure in which a person reports to another person and another person reports to the third person. So, obviously, the first conclusion follows. In big companies, people do as they're told and little more. The second one talks about decentralized and flexible organization, in which it says in big companies, senior managers set objectives but leave it up to the team closest to the scene of action to figure out how to achieve them. This is not what we have spoken, this is not what we mean by top-down command control, so my answer becomes only 1. Businesses expect 2 things from IT: efficient operation of existing systems, effective development of new systems to support new business initiatives. IT for business is essentially a support system, which is incorrect. Incorrect? No, it is correct. IT for business is essentially a support system. Obviously, if it is doing efficient operation and effective development of new systems, then definitely IT becomes a support system. But if you say businesses expect IT to develop new systems to support new business initiatives, this is incorrect, because if you talk about businesses expecting IT to develop new systems, this is exactly a cut copy paste from the information that is given to us in the statement. So if it is a cut copy paste, we call it a repetition or a restatement and not a conclusion. Hence the second one is not a conclusion. Going ahead with the eighth one. So answer for the seventh one becomes only 1. Going ahead with the eighth one, the online world does not have geography for most part. This throws off the whole law-making model and makes trying to apply existing laws to the internet an exercise akin means similar, an exercise similar to putting a square peg in a round hole. So they're trying to say that the online world does not have geography, and which is why if you try to apply the law-making model to the online world, it is an exercise which is like putting a square peg in a round hole, which is next to impossible. So the first one says the existing laws cannot be applied to the internet because they are suited for a geographically defined world, which is correct. You cannot apply the existing laws of the internet because yes, they are definitely designed for a geographical world. The laws for internet have to be altogether a different model than existing laws. Yes, again, this is correct. Because if they're not suited and they are for a geographically defined world, then they have for the internet, the laws that are there have to be altogether a different model. So answer for the eighth one is third option. Scientists calculate that 2/3 of recent rise in sea temperature thought to fuel hurricanes. Fueling hurricanes is increasing hurricanes is due to humanity's greenhouse gas emissions. A hurricane is attributable to human activities. Greenhouse gas emissions cause a rise in sea temperature. Now, they've made an indirect correlation that 2/3 of rise in sea temperature increases hurricanes, and that is due to humanity's greenhouse gas emissions. So, yes, you can safely say that a hurricane is attributable to human activities because it is humanity's greenhouse gas emissions. And you can safely say that greenhouse gas emissions cause a rise in sea temperature because all the three are correlated. Hence, my answer becomes again option number 3, both 1 and 2. 10th one and the last one for conclusions. State Stamp Office has asked every film producer to submit every single agreement signed with star directors and technicians to determine duty and bring in transparency in the film industry's affairs. First one says there is no transparency in the film industry's financial transactions. Second says film industry has evaded duty on agreement signed with stars, directors, and technicians. Now, since the question says every single argument with stars, directors, and technicians and has asked every film producer, which means there is no transparency, which is why they are trying to bring in transparency. So, answer 1 on option 1 is correct. But you can't say that the film industry has evaded duty on agreements, evaded is escaped. Unless and until you evaluate, you can't really conclude that film industry has evaded duty. So, answer becomes only 1. Now we move on to assumptions. The two things that we need to keep in mind while assumptions are assumptions are true from the writer's or the author's point of view, and assumptions always precede the main statement. So the author assumes before giving out the main statement. So study the main statements and choose. You'll mark 1 if only first assumption follows. You'll mark 2 if only the second assumption follows. You'll mark 3 when both 1 and 2 assumptions follow. And you will mark 4 when neither 1 or 2 assumptions follow. First one says, I know he did it. Only a guilty person will seek anticipatory bail. First conclusion says he sought anticipatory bail. Second says the innocent cannot seek anticipatory bail. Obviously, we'll go with the first one as the answer because if I assume that he sought anticipatory bail, only then can I somewhere make a statement that that is why I know he did it. Only if he is guilty is why he would seek such a bail. So first one is my conclusion. Second is an extreme statement when it says the innocent cannot seek anticipatory bail. So in context where the statement becomes an extreme statement, we do not consider them to be assumptions. Assumptions are never extreme. So second is not my answer. Only the first one is my answer. So one only. Second says education benefits society in general, as without widespread education, the significance of books, newspapers, and similar media for spread of information would decrease. Now, if it benefits society in general, and we are talking about print media, then obviously it is not going to benefit the literate. Only the people who can read books, newspapers, and magazines would be benefited. So yes, we can clearly assume that the illiterate cannot be benefited by books, newspapers, and similar media. And we can also assume that communication of information is of great benefit to society because if we don't communicate, then the author has mentioned that the significance would decrease as without widespread. So communication of information is nothing but widespread education. So my answer for the second one becomes 3, both 1 and 2. Third says if you haven't turned rebel by 20, you got no heart. If you haven't turned establishment by 30, you got no friends. Rebel is going against something that you like. If that doesn't happen by 20, you don't have any courage. And if you haven't turned establishment, which is independent by 30, you've not got any brains, which is intellect. So you can't assume a rebel has no intellect. If you assume the first one, there has to be some time barriers. Since the author has mentioned this till 20 and that till 30, first option does not count any time frames and hence it is not correct. Second, one who remains pro-establishment till 20 has no courage. Correct. Pro-establishment means in favor of establishment. So if a person is in favor of establishment till the age of 20, obviously he will not want to be a rebel and he will not have courage according to what is mentioned in the statement by the author. So hence my answer becomes option number 2 only. Advice is what we ask for when we already know the answer but wish we didn't. This is the fourth one. First assumption says all the advice we can ask for and get is already known to us. Second, we ask for advice when we know the answer to our problems. First is obviously an extreme statement. You can't say all the advice that you can ask for is already known to us, so that is incorrect. We ask for advice when we know the answer to our problems. This is correct, so answer becomes option 2. In heaven, all the interesting people are missing. If I say in heaven, all the interesting people are missing, I can very well assume that heaven is in an uninteresting place. No. You can't assume heaven is an uninteresting place because place is not only made interesting because of the people in it. There are many other factors which contribute in order to make the place interesting. All the interesting people are evil? No. They can be alive and be on earth as well. And it says all the interesting people, it's an extreme statement. Assumptions are never extreme, so answer is 4, neither 1 nor 2. Sixth one now. The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. Yes, and when we say that we cannot forgive, forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. So we definitely assume that forgiveness is not a sign of weakness, and hence we say the weak can never forgive. So option 1 is definitely my assumption. Option 2, the weak cannot forgive. Option 2 is not my assumption because it is a repetition or a restatement of the first data statement, which is the weak can never forgive. And again, it is an extreme statement, so extreme statements do not find place in assumption. 7. Victory attained by violence is tantamount to a defeat, for it is momentary. Tantamount means similar. So if we attain any victory and if that is through violence, then it is equal to defeat because it's for a short moment. All momentary victories are same as defeat. Yes, because they are temporary, so they are same as defeat. So the first one definitely follows. Long-lasting victories can be achieved through non-violence. Correct. So if we want ephemeral victories, then that is through violence, and if we want long-lasting victories, then they are through non-violence. The first step to getting the things you want out of life is this: decide what you want. Now it says if you want something out of life, the first step is to decide. First assumption says what you will get out of life is what you've decided to get. Second says you will get out of life only what you've decided to get. Now this is a very tricky question. Here they have not discussed what you're going to get out of life or not. They have just said if you want to get something out of your life, the first step is to decide. So both my assumptions are incorrect in the context of the main statement, and my answer thus becomes option 4, neither 1 nor 2. 9. The visionary lies to himself, the liar only to others. When he lies, a liar knows the truth. Correct. We assume this, that when he lies, a liar knows the truth, and hence he lies only to others. But when he lies, a visionary does not know the truth. Now, this may not be correct. A visionary may or may not know the truth. So, when he lies, a visionary does not know the truth is incorrect. So, my answer for the 9th was only 1. 10th and the last one for assumptions. That is what learning is. You suddenly understand something you've understood all your life, but in a new way. So, obviously, the first assumption follows that there is a difference between understanding and learning. Learning is understanding something in a new way. It is a cut, copy, paste. It cannot be your assumption because assumptions are not stated. Hence, my answer is only 1. So, I hope you are clear with assumptions and conclusions. This summed up advanced reasoning 1. Thank you so much.